Hey YouTube, I am Tiberius and you're about to watch an edited recording of a Twitch stream. You can check out my Twitch using the link in the video description. If you enjoy the content, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to my channel. Thank you and enjoy the video. Alright, we're going to do some web stuff. I figure we'll just go through them in order, maybe. I think. Okay. Find the flag being held. Alright, so it's a public server. Interesting. So we're gonna go to burp. I'm just gonna add this to the target field. It was posted. Excellent. Well done, Just a Guy. You are a legitimate hacker. You've hacked the system. I'm actually rather annoyed. I didn't think of that. Genius. I should post a tweet explaining how you tweet. Oh my goodness, this is awful. Why have they had this color? Alright, so yeah, somebody, I won't do it. Somebody else should tweet mentioning how you tweet. Alright, yeah, is there any way we can just get around this? Actually, I know what there is. View page source. This will be good though, because it'll teach you some stuff. Background color red. Alright, we're just gonna change this. Options. Response. Match and replace. We're gonna add response body, match this, change it to, let's do 333. I think that's dark enough gray that it'll be all right. Should be fine. There we go. All right. Magic. We've hacked it. Okay. So there are two forms. Both go to index.php. One is submitting. Oh, one's a get and one's a post. That's literally the only difference. They're not submitting anything. So if I choose red, and if I choose blue, oh, okay. Oh, I see. So that's why the maybe I messed with the challenge too much. Okay. Whoops. Is that all there is? Is like a? Can I go to like robots.txt or something? Not found. So I don't. The thing about these, I don't know how like what the picoCTFs are like, whether we're supposed to do directory busting or anything. So this is going to be interesting. My first thought. So as you noticed, if we make a get request, it returns red, and if we do a post request, it returns blue. But there's nothing in these requests so basically these are almost identical requests, right? It's just the method that's changing. All right. So I mean, like literally, I could probably do something stupid, like if I take out all of this, we get blue, and then if I change this to a, yeah, okay. So you notice how nothing changed apart from this thing, right? I assume nothing else changed actually. Oh, the title did. Okay, the title changed. Anything else? Don't think so. So what we can try and do is do options. Interesting there. Let's go through these actually. Actually, you know what am I doing? What am I doing? Chat, what am I doing? We are going to go here. We're going to send this to Intruder. We're going to add parameter thing there. I'm going to go to payloads, add from list. Where are the HTTP verbs? They call them verbs. It's another name for them. They can also just be called methods. But and what we're going to do is we're going to extract the title, because that was what was changing as well. And I will start the attack. So you see how this, just ignore this one. This is just a default one. We do a get, we get red. Do post. If we do a head, we get nothing. Oh no, we get this. We get the flag. Okay, that was it, chat. Easy. When you identify the only thing that seems to be changing, just fuzz that thing. Nice. We got the flag. Alright, that was kind of dumb. Did these go up in points? Alright, we'll do this one then. Anyone not understand what we did there? I think everybody understands what we did. The key thing, I guess, was noticing... I should close this window. The key thing was noticing, honestly, with this site here, if you look at these forms... So a key thing to remember about forms, right, is the action is where the form is going to submit to, basically just the URL. The method is how that form is sent, whether it's sent with a GET request or a POST request. Generally speaking, you can only put get and POST in here. You can't put anything else. These inputs, so a submit is basically just a submit button. Now, importantly, the type is submit. If it had a name here, it would also submit the value, right? Actually, maybe we can demo that. So I'm going to right click this. We're going to edit the HTML code. Drill down too much. Come on. So if I add, if I go here, name equals Tiberius, right? Okay. And I click submit, or I click choose red. What should happen, see that? The value of the submit button is now in the URL. It's in the URL because it's a GET request, right? If I did the same thing to this blue button, it would be in the POST request, but it's the same thing. So the key thing you need to notice here is that there's no name on this submit button, and it's literally the only input in this form. Same for this. So these forms, basically, all they do is this one makes a GET request to the index.php page, and this one makes a POST request. And that's it. No parameters, anything like that. So literally the only difference between these two requests was the method being used, which is why I decided to fuzz the method. I could have done it manually. I would have got to head eventually. Options is always a good one to try. Options will tell you basically what methods it supports, usually. Obviously this one doesn't. But head is another good one. And that's what we needed. Alright, let's do this.
Thank you for following.
Thank you, Stephen R, for following. Cookies. Welcome to my cookie search page. See how much I like different kinds of cookies. Okay, what are we doing here? Categories. Success is green, info blue, warning yellow, danger red. Okay. Can I word wrap this, line wrap it, whatever? Okay. So it's sending an input. I guess we'll just do this. This doesn't appear to be a valid cookie. Did it set any cookies? It did. It set a session cookie. That's interesting. Name equals -1. Interesting. So can we just do name equals session? That didn't like it. All right, let's just do this get request without anything. Okay, follow redirect. All right, so it's setting a cookie. Name equals -1. Okay, so if we do name equals -1, what do we get? We don't get anything, do we? What about name equals 1? Oh, there we go. We get redirected to check. And all right, let's do it in browser so it's a little bit easier to see. So we're going to turn this value to 1. And then if I just refresh, I guess. That is a cookie, not very special though. Okay, 0. Is this just going to be an IDOR? Potentially it's going to be an IDOR or it's going to be an SQL injection. Like if we do 20. Okay, it keeps doing it. What if I just do something ridiculous? Okay. Alright, let's try killing it with SQL injection. What should we do? Should we do this, chat? I didn't seem to like that. Alright, it doesn't seem to like that. I guess we have to basically just iterate through these cookies. So we are going to go back here. Going to go Intruder. It's already selected that for me. We're going to go to numbers. We're going to go from 0 to, let's just do 100. Stepping 1 time, no fractions. I was not. That's the joke. I would never do that. Although to be fair, I want to say something like, yes, you should never do or 1 equals 1 in an SQL injection. However, it's okay in CTFs. All right. Okay, I'm gonna do. Well, actually, yeah, we want to do this, right? So, try that. There's the flag. Boom. It was an IDOR. Somebody asked what an IDOR is. Can anyone in chat, for brownie points, tell me what IDOR stands for? Yeah, there we go. Don't worry about it, I was going to say. Okay, so I think Embargo got it first. Insecure Direct Object Reference. So, let me explain it using using this. Okay, so we have a database. Let's say we have a database of users. Sorry, a table of users. All right. So we have an ID, we have a username, password, whatever. Well, actually, yeah, username, password, and then maybe age. Okay. Make it look a little pretty. Okay, so we have like 1 Tiberius. Password is obviously just going to be password. Age 25. Don't say anything. 2 Al-Hazred. Password is going to obviously be Cthulhu. And I'm going to guess that he's maybe 42. Right. Actually, is it Cthulhu like that? I think it is, right? I'm going to have to Google that. He might get upset about the 42 joke, but he'll definitely get upset if I don't spell his god correctly. All right, so you have this in an application, and you have some trying to explain this right. You can consider these rows, right? When they're in the database, they're rows, but if you think about it, when they are extracted and the information is used in the application, you can kind of think of them like a user object, right? So you might have a user object, right? And just ignore the syntax, where you have username equals Tiberius, and you have age equals 25, right? You can kind of think of them as user objects. Because really, when you're talking about IDOR, the word object is kind of difficult. It doesn't really refer to anything like object orientation or something like that. An object is basically just a thing. It's kind of like a representation of data. All right. So let's go with, and actually, I should probably have put ID in here, right? ID equals 1. Okay, so this is the user object. All right, so let's insecure direct object reference. Okay, so we've covered what objects are. All right, this is an object. This object, right, is just a representation of this row of data in the database. Okay, an object can pull data from multiple tables. Okay, that's why it's so abstract. Okay, it can though just be a direct one-to-one. So what's an object reference? Well, imagine if you have a URL where you have something like accounts, and you have ID equals 1, right? So this, when you browse this address, the page looks at what ID you've given it, and it uses that ID to find a user in the users table. All right, in this case, it matches this ID against this ID here. So this, or more accurately, this thing, is a reference. It's referencing an object. Okay? And more than that, it is a direct object reference. And by direct object reference, I mean you take this ID, you look it up in a table, and there's your user object, right? Again, think of objects as very, very sort of abstract. So this is a direct object reference, all right? You may have indirect object references, okay, which I'm not even going to get into. They deal with... If you don't know stuff about databases, think about like foreign keys and things, but honestly, indirect object references, I'm not even going to try and explain. Okay, so what's an insecure one? Well, imagine that it's okay if I, as Tiberius, access my account page. All right? I'm allowed to do this. But say Al-Hazred comes along, and when he logs in and he clicks on his account page, he gets this. Account ID equals 2. Well, that's obvious, right? He is ID 2. But what happens if he changes it to ID 1? Now, it should say, no, you're not Tiberius, you're Al-Hazred. You can't do this. But if it's insecure, it'll just load my information for him. All right? And that's exactly what we did here. Okay, this cookie was the reference, the object reference. Okay, it's referring to presumably a cookie, an actual literal cookie here, because all the messages we get back are about specific cookies. So, for example, the object reference 0, right, references a snickerdoodle cookie object. Okay, and the reference 1, right, references the chocolate chip cookie object. Okay. And so by just iterating, because we can just iterate stuff because they're using individual numbers, just regular numbers, as soon as we get to 1, what was it, 18, we get the flag instead. Okay. Now, this is the most obvious form of attack, just iteration. However, question for chat. Let's go to a UID generator. Okay, do a version 4, it's the most secure. All right, copy this. Let's say, oops. Let's say that instead of a number, we use this UUID. Okay, UUIDs are generally speaking not brute forceable. They're randomly generated and they have so much freaking data that they generally you can't iterate them. If I just change that, if I just change the reference from an integer to a UUID, does that fix IDOR? Anyone in chat? Does that fix the vulnerability? Embargo says yes. The question killer is, originally the names were referenced by integers, but now let's just say they're all referenced by this. Has this fixed the IDOR vulnerability? Depends how the name is implemented. Not really. No, it's the implementation is the same. It's just taking this and it's comparing it to a value in the database, and if it finds a match, it's going to display the cookie. Everyone who's saying no is correct. The vulnerability is still there. Yes, it's difficult to now get valid values, but the ultimate fact of this is the vulnerability isn't that you can iterate through numbers, right? This isn't an iteration issue. This is a permissions issue. And you have no idea where these UUIDs may be leaked. Okay? All right? There might be some list of them that you can generate. Okay? They might be attached to certain accounts. All right? You don't know that. And the fact is, if you're only supposed to access this UUID, this object, right? If you explicitly have permission to access it, then that permissions check should be bound to your session. It should be based on roles associated with your session. It should not be based on some ID, even if the ID is really complicated. All right? In this example, obviously everyone can access, but imagine that only I was supposed to access this, okay? And it did a check. It said, okay, well, it's Tiberius who's logged in. Does Tiberius have the permission to access this? Yes, he does. Okay, we'll show him chocolate chip cookies. All right? That would be fine. If there wasn't a check for that, and it was just based on this, then anyone with this value could come and just grab my data. The fact that I love chocolate chip cookies. And that's the real issue. What's SQLite? Is that just connect to an Can you log into this data? Okay, I mean, we'll try this one. I have a feeling this will just be interesting. SQL injection or something. Copy link. It's going to make me do all 1 equals 1 as well, isn't it? Alright, let's try this. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is going to do these. Lovely. Okay. So this is definitely going to be an all 1 equals 1. Unless we can find an admin user. And actually, we don't even need to do that. We just have to do this. Logged in, but can you see the flag? Oh, it worked. Yay! I didn't have to do all 1 equals 1, chat. Didn't get me yet. On the screen are my socials. Please follow me on Twitter, join the Discord server, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and of course follow me on Twitch to get alerted when I go live. You can also find all these links in the video description.